So I just arrived at Descanso Gardens, and there was this little kid putting on sunscreen with, I think, probably his parents in the car beside me. And I started talking to them, and he's like, "We're here to see the model trains, and it's gonna be awesome." It was so cute. So it took me maybe a minute of walking into Descanso Gardens before I already started seeing the model railroad going around, and I saw folks boarding the train. So it's just, yeah, already full of smiles and waves and fun times. The model railroad was built using mostly materials from Descanso Gardens, but all like natural materials. So that should be really cool to see. And then they have a 7.5 gauge train and just built a train station. So that's gonna be fun to ride. Today is opening day, and I'm excited to be here. I think it's time to get a little bit more up close with these trains. Well, I'd say we're here. So there's just stuff everywhere. I hear something to the right, and the second I look, there's something else going on to the left. A lot to see, a lot of kids just like, and a lot of adults having a great time too. Okay, so every month the kids get a new stamp in their passport book for the train. They buy this cute little passport book and then
I think they're the same
stamp.
Cars,
Yes.
so.
Awesome,
Yeah.
very nice. That's fun.
Big
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. This is awesome that you guys are doing this.
Thank you.
On our first date, we talked about Miniature Wonderland, which is in Hamburg, and then we wound up going there on our honeymoon. I've just liked them since I'm a little kid. I like them because they're an efficient way to travel for both freight and passengers, and then on a miniature level, I think it's a really cool thing to take that and scale it down to miniature trains.
So you are controlling all the trains, and you're watching if something overheats, and what was
They
it?
don't derail.
And if they don't derail, yeah. Okay.
So if it starts to drag or that it starts to run slower, then I'll have to stop it. Just turn the speed down and put it on stop, and then go out to the train and make the repair if needed.
So these are all the trains that one might see out on the model railroad.
Yes.
Yeah. As well as what's in these boxes?
Yes.
Well, you have an important job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right, the things could really heat up.
So we're very excited to have the Descanso Railroad open to the public. We've had a ride-on train at Descanso for many years, so some people might remember that. But this area is different because we've added all these model trains that will go around, and they have miniature stations that are great train stations from around the United States that people can look at as well. That part will change about every 6 months. Every 6 months, there'll be kind of a different special feature that the model trains are going around. And then in the same area where you can enjoy the model trains, we've moved the load-on platform for our ride-on train. So now it's all part of the same bigger train experience.
Wow.
I think a wide range of people love trains. Some people are fascinated like when they're young and children, and some people are fascinated all through their lives. And I think you can never really tell what's going to connect with people. And so that's what we like having this feature here, because anything that invites people to find a connection at the garden, I think is really wonderful. So it's a great way to draw people in. We have an amazing on-site team. Our director of horticulture and operations, David Bear, he has a team that really did a lot of work on this. However, we also did work with an outside group called Applied Imagination. They're the ones that designed the model trains and the stations and really came and installed this. They did use a lot of materials from the garden. They also brought in some materials. Yeah, so some of the elements are things from trees or limbs that have fallen at the garden, and they're able to repurpose.
Well, I mean, it's incredible, and the buildings look like they took a lot of time and the detail, and
yeah, people have been really enjoying it. I think everyone is pleasantly surprised at how immersive it is, and then also how it fits the space really well. I think they use so many natural materials that it really looks like it belongs.
Yeah.
So I think that's really something people are enjoying. I really like this. I have memories of my own kids coming and loving this ride on train when they were very young. So, like, personally, I'm excited to have this as well.
I love that. I mean, the trains, it's just, you always see like smiling faces and like happy people. So I would think this would be like one of the most fun parts of the gardens to work in.
It's fun to see everyone's reaction.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Emmy. I really appreciate that.
Oh, my son's really into trains. We have trains at home. And then when we found this, I was like, oh, perfect. We can go today. Yeah. And it's pretty cool to look at. Like, I just been standing here well, that's pretty cool.
My grandfather had a huge, like, old school train set, so I inherited his. My son loves trains, so we have them all over the house. So you can actually see the wheels moving, you see it on the track, and it's just kind of fascinating to watch how it works and see that on the outside instead of everything being automatic. So, and then I'm in the vintage thing, so anything old that is still relevant, I'm going to be around. So
Yeah.
that's what attracts me to trains.
And do you think there's stuff he's learning from being into model trains that he can kind of take with him as an adult?
Well, understanding, just once he sees the wheels moving, he knows, okay, this is motored by some sort of mechanic. So he knows the difference between like the steam engines and he looks at how they put the coal in. So it's kind of keeps you attached to the history. And I think, he's very addicted to like, YouTube and all that stuff. So I love when he's fascinated with something that is actually educational. So, yeah, and he's running around. He can't get enough of it. So I'm pretty excited. We had to peel him off his YouTube to get here. So.
Well, I will totally let you get back to enjoying it with him, but I really appreciate you chatting with me.
No problem.
So thank you so much.
Nice meeting you.
Everybody's been really nice, and there's a lot to see here. A lot of happy people, a lot of different railroads represented. I see these dairymen cars. My dad has some of those. Santa Fe, Chessie. What else is here? Union Pacific. And some buildings that are familiar. One is Union Station, of course, for Los Angeles, which is, known to be pretty amazing, and I'll be going there soon. And then there's one that sells Biltmore, and I don't know what their intention was with that, but I think of the Biltmore estate and the Vanderbilt family, very integral in made a lot of money off the railroad. And Biltmore Estate is in my home state of North Carolina, where I grew up. So that was kind of cool to see. And yeah, now I'm in line for the train.
Care to join me for a ride? Click the subscribe button, share the episode. Feel free to click on the thanks button to make a donation. And I will see you very soon.